Okay, this is an introduction to the job costing Excel problem, and it isn't that difficult. What you really just need to do is read the instructions thoughtfully. This is a company that's been using one method to allocate overhead, and what they want to do is look at a couple other ways of doing it. Okay, so that's basically that's what it's about. So what else do we have here? So here's a description of the system. Here are some issues. Okay, they've had growth. And overhead allocations are important, especially if you're going to use those numbers, your cost numbers, for pricing. Okay, that's when all of a sudden it gets to be a serious issue. A lot of costs are determined by what the price in the market is. But if you're using like cost plus pricing, then you've got to come up with your own internal cost and then add something to it. So here's their pricing system. It's remained the same over 15 years, and what they usually do is they bid 15% of the estimated cost of the job based on materials and labor for the project, plus an overhead estimate of 5% of direct materials cost. This is what they're doing now. So what this project wants you to do, okay, is first of all, you've got to go through the data and see if there's anything that needs to be cleaned, okay? And this is not an extensive piece of it, okay? I don't think I had more than, somebody had 4 of them. I think I only had 3 different things in here, but I might be wrong, okay? There weren't many. But the way to do this is to go to, I gotta pull this up a little bit. Go to the Data tab, and we want to turn on the filter, okay? So go to Data and turn on the filter, and then what you can do is you can look for things that are misspelled, or for crazy numbers that don't make any sense, or for blanks. Okay, those are other things you've got to look for. So what we can do first is, if you pull down this for client size, you can see what we've got is, are there blanks? I don't think there's any blanks. We've got a small, resort, medium, and large, and an average is in there, and then some totals are in there on the bottom. But it isn't like you've got some medium that's misspelled or some resort that's misspelled. So this one looks pretty good to me. Okay, then we can go to, let's take a look at the average square eyeball it. If we go down like this, just scan through the information. There is one in here that has a whole bunch of blanks. I think I already got rid of it. So you want to look for something like that, okay? And other than that, the data looks pretty much all right. If this was real, you'd probably want to test the formulas that are underneath here and make sure that they were correct. Yeah. Okay, so let's go. So that's the first thing you're going to do, is clean the data. And any changes that you make, okay, you're going to put here in the on a tab. So copy your list of actions taken and paste it into a new page in the same workbook where the data is. Okay, so your first page, look at the end of this here, your first page is going to have the data cleaning in it, and then the next page you're going to have to do they want you to build a pivot table. So the pivot table, where you summarize by client size, actual overhead, allocated overhead, total number of rooms, average difference between yada yada. I don't think I did that one. And the average percentage differences in overhead costs. So that gives you an idea, because we got the actual overhead. So this gives you an idea of maybe how far off it is, okay? Then after you create the pivot table, you create a pivot chart. Okay? And then after that, you come up with, we're going to start looking at maybe an alternative allocation base. So we're going to run 2 regression models, one based on rooms and another one based on direct material. Okay, and see what the R-square in it, see how it looks, and then choose one to use. All right, then you're almost done. Calculate the over or under allocated overhead. Create a pivot chart that compares the actual overhead, the original allocation, and the proposed overhead allocation by client. Okay, and name that workbook Pivot Chart 2. And then finally a memo that addresses all these things. Okay, so when you're done, you would have about 8 pages in your workbook, and do your best. But I don't know what else I can tell you on this, okay? So I hope this at least gets you started. And oh, the last thing is that the due date that shows on it is November 21st, but you can turn it in until the 25th. Okay, so it'd be nice to have it done so you wouldn't have to think about it over Thanksgiving, but you've got some time. And it takes more than 2 minutes to do, okay? So put some time aside. All right, that's what I've got. Let me know if you've got problems in here. Okay.